Well, hey y'all flock stars. Welcome back to Crissy O's Clucky Chronicles. Yeah, you know it's me. I'm Crissy O, and I'm coming at you right from the backyard of my farm where the air's getting crisp, the leaves is falling, and my spoiled floofs are acting like they're auditioning for a barnyard soap opera. That's how it goes. Y'all, let me tell you, November's here, and it's time to let's get serious about prepping our flocks and farm critters for the cooler temperatures and that pesky little time change. So today, we're diving deep into how to keep your feathered babies cozy, healthy, and happy as we start to transition from fall to winter. It's happening, y'all. I don't know how happy I am about it, but anyway, I'm trying. Plus, we are so close to hitting 1,500 subscribers on YouTube, and I got a big surprise for all y'all flock stars when we do. So do me a favor, grab yourself a sweet tea or a hot coffee, bundle up, and let's get to clucking. Now let's talk about November weather, y'all. Okay, out here on the farm, we're saying goodbye to those warm, fun, summer, awesome, lazy days. And hello to frosty, cold mornings that'll make you want to stay under the covers. Now, for our flocks, this transition from warm to cooler temperatures can be a bit of a shock to their feathered systems, okay? Especially here in eastern North Carolina, where you can experience 4 seasons in one day. Now, chickens, ducks, and other farm floofs, they're tough, but they need us to help them adjust a little bit. Now, the days has got shorter, the nights is getting colder, and that means their little bodies are just working extra hard to stay warm and to lay them yummy eggs for me. First off, let's talk about what's happening out here. Now, as the temperatures drop, your flock's energy goes towards keeping warm instead of just strutting their stuff. You might notice fewer eggs or some extra cranky clucks. Just don't worry about all that, okay? That's normal stuff, okay? Don't freak out. Now, to help these floofs out a little bit, I start by checking their coop setup. I want to make sure there's no draft sneaking in, no chilly breezes, because let me tell you, those chilly breezes, they ain't no friend to your floofs. I want to patch up any holes or gaps in the coop, but I also have to keep ventilation in mind, so there you go. You want airflow to prevent moisture buildup, because a damp coop, that's a recipe for extremely sick chickens. You don't want that. So I like to think of it like this. You wouldn't sleep in a wet sleeping bag, all right? So don't let your floofs, your hens, your chickens, your ducks, your quails, your guineas, your whatever, don't let them bunk in a soggy coop. Now let's just talk about this time change struggle that we're going on, okay? Y'all know time change just messes everything up. And it messes with more than just our sleep schedules. Because when we fall back in November, the clocks shift and suddenly it's getting dark earlier. Now for our flocks, this is like Mother Nature kind of flipping the lights off mid-party. Now chickens, they're creatures of habit. And they rely on the daylight to tell them when to eat, when to roost, when to lay their eggs. With the sun setting earlier, honey, your floofs might be start putting themselves to bed way before you're ready to close up the coop. So get ready for that, because it's already been happening for us. Now, I've noticed that my crew, Nana Roo and Leanne and Elaine and Diane and the whole gang, they're just heading to the roost like it's bedtime at 4:30 p.m. Oh my God, it's wild. But it's also their way of adjusting. Now, to help them stay on track, I try to keep their feeding and watering schedule really consistent. So if you've got supplemental lighting in the coop to keep egg production steady, just do that. And it's also a good time to set a timer. or anywhere around 14 to 16 hours of that light total per day. That's what I found for me is a sweet spot. I don't know what your sweet spot is. I don't know your floofs, but you figure that out when you put lights in there in a time or two. Just don't overdo it, y'all, because your hens, let me tell you, they need their beauty sleep just like I do, and heck, I need a lot of it. And if you're like me, you're running around busier than a three-legged cat checking on them before dark to make sure they're all tucked in and safe from these gnarly little predators out here in these woods. Let's get to the nitty-gritty of keeping your flock cozy as the temperatures drop. First up, it's bedding. Bedding, everybody talks about bedding. Y'all, it's time to pile on the thick stuff. Or not. Whatever you do is whatever you do. You've worked out your own deal with your own floofs. I'm just telling you what I do with mine. Now, I'm going to switch out thin summer bedding for things a little bit more heftier. Now, I will use things added into the bed in my pine bedding. Not pine straw, but my pine bedding. Like wheat straw. That's what I meant to say, daggone it. See, this cold weather's freezing my brain cells. Just freezing them up. So I want something hefty, like straw, wood shavings, pine pellets, something, And I'm talking like a good 4 to 6 inches deep in the coop. That's just to insulate the floor and to also give my floofs a little bit of a warmer place to snuggle up. It's kind of like I'm giving them a fluffy farm blanket. And the thing that I got to do is I have to turn that bedding regularly to keep it dry and fresh because I don't want no soggy nest, and neither do they. All right, now we got to talk about warmth. Now, I know some of y'all might be tempted to crank up a space heater in the coop, but hold your horses, honey. Those things can be fire hazards. Instead, focus on natural insulation. So make sure your coop's walls are solid. And if you're in a real cold spot, just consider adding some foam board or even some old blankets around the outside for extra protection. Anything will work. Don't burn your little flock up. Don't set it on fire. Now for my floofs, I make sure that the roost or like the nest boxes are wide enough. And I make sure that they can sit and cover their feet with their feathers to stay warm. Especially like if you got young chicks or less hardier breeds. I don't know. You might want to add like a safe low wattage heat lamp if you can do it safely. But you got to make sure it's secure and out of pecking reach, and it ain't going to light your world on fire and burn up your stuff. So be real careful with that. And don't sleep on the water situation. Ice in the waters is a pain in the tail feathers, y'all. Get you some heated water bases or water heaters to keep the H2O flowing. You got to check them throughout the day to make sure that they're working, because I'm telling you, a dehydrated flock is a very grumpy flock. I learned it the hard way, okay? Especially when Sharon gave me the stinky eye for frozen water last year, and she pecked and pecked and pecked and pecked. So just use what you can, use what you got, even warm water. Put some warm water in their water feeders, because they sometimes don't like all this cold stuff. So do what you got to do. The next thing I want to talk about is mite prevention. Don't let these bugs bug your floofs. Mites is a big deal. These tiny critters, they love to creep into coops during the fall when the weather's changing. And let me tell you, honey, these mites can wreak havoc if you don't stay on top of them. Mites can stress out your flock, cause feather loss, and major bigger health issues if you leave it unchecked. So let's just talk about prevention. And I've got some other videos on how to check your flock and your little floofs, how to pick them up and look for mites and how to treat them. So go back and look at those previous videos. Now, when your floofs are out free ranging, God, that's hard to say. Floofs are out free ranging. Wow. Anyway, just take your time to treat the coop with diatomaceous earth or a permethrin-based spray. Diatomaceous earth, everybody knows, it's like a natural mite-killing thing. Just sprinkle it in the bedding, around your roost, in and out any dusty corners. If you're using permethrin, just follow the label and make sure your animals are out of the coop while it dries. Safety first, y'all. I do this every couple of weeks in the fall just to keep the pests at bay. Once my floofs are out there free ranging, we spray all around the yards, all around the coops and everything, and let it dry for a couple of hours, and it's good. And check your floofs. Pick them rascals up. Check them. Look inside at the feathers towards the skin. Part the feathers around the vent, the neck, and under the wings. Look for tiny crawling critters or red irritated skin. That way, if you spot trouble, you can treat the affected bird with a vet-approved mite spray. And just keep them separated till they're clear. It is a pain, y'all, but catching mites early, you don't want to be infested. You don't want a full-blown infestation. Trust me, honey, you don't want your coop turning into a mite motel. Ask me how I know. See the video. Y'all, all these changes, thicker bedding, water heaters, mite checks, it's not just busy work. Fall and winter brings challenges that can really, really stress your flock if you ain't prepared. A stressed hen, honey, you gonna get fewer eggs, weaker immune systems, more vet bills than you want. Now, if you take the proper steps, you're setting your floofs up to thrive, not just survive. Plus, a happy floofer makes for a happy farmer, a happy homesteader, and we all want more of those sunny side up moments, right? Now, here on my farm, I'm already seeing my crew adjusting to the cooler days. They're fluffier, feistier, and ready to take on winter like the rock stars they already are. So just take a cue from your old pal Crissy O and get ahead of the game now, and your flock will thank you with eggs and attitude all season long. All right, flock stars, that's the scoop on prepping your flock for a fall to winter switch up. But let me tell you, before I let you go, I got to get a huge shout out to this amazing Clucky Chronicles community. Honey, we so close to hitting 1,500 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm pumping my pitchfork in the air all about it. So here's the deal. When we hit that goal, everyone who is subscribed to the YouTube channel and signed up for our free monthly emails at CrissyOShow.com will get my exclusive recipe book for free. That's right, y'all. Y'all get the goods from my farm fresh chicken scratch muffins to my secret snacky making tricks and all kinds of good recipes. Everybody else, well, guess what? If you ain't on the email list, I can't send it to you, honey. And they just gonna have to go and buy it at the online shop right there on CrissyOShow.com. So don't miss out. Now here's what you gotta do. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Head on over to CrissyOShow.com. Sign up for the emails, it's free. Smash your subscribe button harder than a tractor hitting a stump, honey. Y'all the best flock stars a gal could ever ask for. And I want to thank y'all for riding with me and my floofs. Now, drop a comment below with your favorite winter prep tip or any questions you got, and I'll holler back at you. There ain't no right or wrong answers. Everybody's got their own way. And I learn just as much from y'all as y'all do from me. So till next time, honey, if you can't be good, just be good at it. Keep clucking and stay cozy, y'all.